Time for winners and losers. It's time for winners and losers presented by Discover. I'll start things off with a winner. A winner, first periods. It was awesome. It was entertaining. If I were to show a new hockey fan a period of hockey that I wanted to hook them with, the first period of this game would certainly be in that conversation. I would say, watch this and tell me you don't love hockey or can fall in love with it. We had everything. We had a highlight reel goal like that, what we saw with McDavid. We saw penalties. We saw goals. We saw hits. We saw it. It just had everything that we want as a hockey fan. It was great.
Five goals, controversy, physicality, star players doing star player things. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was on the Reddit of a popular podcast that doesn't always cover hockey during the game, and there were multiple posts saying, if you're not watching the Stanley Cup final right now, what are you even doing? Like, it is that kind of Four Nations moment, for lack of a better comparison, where the normies out there who don't necessarily sit down to watch a hockey game on a Friday night are being told, you best tune in because you're missing something great. Loser for me is the refs, though. I mean, they did contribute to the chaos of the first period, but you know what? Some of these calls tonight probably shouldn't have happened. Guys falling down that are called trips and roughing calls that shouldn't be called, and the Bennett thing we talked about before. There was a blatant too many men on the ice penalty that they missed in overtime that could have given the Oilers a power play, and we saw what they did on the power play in the overtime in game one. So not a banner night for the officials. Some specious icing call. I don't know, man. It wasn't their best moments in game two.
Fair enough, but still, all in all, entertaining nonetheless, overall, outside of what you just mentioned there. You go ahead and take this well-deserved winner. I'd like to take the two after this.
Sure. Sean Monahan winning the Masterton Trophy. Of course, that is for perseverance in hockey. Johnny Gaudreau's wife, Meredith, surprised Sean Monahan with the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy. It's given to the player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. Well done by the NHL setting up some of these award presentations in this way, because it set up an absolutely heart-wrenching, emotional moment as Monahan is given this award by the widow of his best friend in hockey. No wrong answers for the Masterton this year. Gabe Landeskog was up for it too, but this was really an amazing moment orchestrated by the NHL.
Yeah, very well done by Steve Mayer and his team. And congratulations to Sean Monahan. Very, very well deserved. On to a loser. And I'm going to bring you in on this because you did some sleuthing on this one. Apparently, Connor McDavid has denied the look. What am I talking about? So we all know what the look is. It is Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the bench. There it is. Glancing at each other, essentially shooting lasers at everybody else on the ice, but glancing at each other as if to say, okay, sounds like we got to strap everything on our backs now and take over. They did it during game one after that disastrous third period where the Stars scored 3 power play goals and the Oilers lost game number 1. The look occurs. They didn't look back. Now, you had a chance to speak to Connor McDavid, Greg Wyshynski, and you actually asked him about said look. What did he say?
Now, he didn't really remember the look. I said that it was captured on camera. It's gone viral. But he said he didn't remember sharing that moment with Draisaitl. But he did say, in defense of you and others that are infatuated with the smoldering passion between these two teammates, okay, he did say that they have developed the ability to communicate non-verbally, and that sometimes just a glance between the two of them can communicate all they need to know. So the idea that there was that non-verbal ESP-like communication between teammates in that moment, I think he supported that idea, but clearly that moment a lot more important to you, to the Tumblr community, than perhaps it was to Connor McDavid.
One word comes to mind: Lies. He knows what we're talking about. Connor, come on, man. I don't buy it one bit. He knows. He's aware. Okay. In all seriousness, I'd like to take this next winner. Mascots are awesome, and here's why. I love mascots. This is another big example. This is Logan, a young boy who is in a tough battle right now with cancer. Logan loves mascots. He put out a call to any mascots across the country, high school, college, any leagues, to send videos. Among many, the NHL mascots answered the call and sent videos of well wishes and inspiration. This is Colorado Avalanche mascot Bernie, who took it one step further. He boarded a flight to visit Logan, his twin sister Riley, his parents Rebecca and Jeff, and other family and friends at the hospital. They laughed, they played games. All that mattered in those moments was Logan being a kid and having fun with his mascot pal. Bernie, you are wonderful. You filled Logan's battling heart with absolute joy. That is wonderful. And Logan, smile and laugh to your heart's content, little buddy. We got your back. Anytime we hear stories like this, Wish, they should be amplified. We should hear about them. We should talk about them on shows like this because it matters very, very much.
Indeed, it does. Let's bring the room down for a second, though. Loser, Pete DeBoer, specifically Pete DeBoer's mouth. Pete DeBoer was relieved of his head coaching duties with the Dallas Stars on Friday, and his post-series comments about goalie Jake Ottinger being unable to beat the Edmonton Oilers and singling him out for a series loss in which Dallas couldn't really score 2 goals in 3 games. Obviously, the goalie's fault. He was fired on Friday, and GM Jim Nill said, yeah, those comments did contribute to my thinking in making this decision, if not ultimately making the decision based on those comments. I think the decision was made because of the comments that most of the Dallas Stars I've heard expressed in their exit interviews with Nill and management regarding the coaching situation. So off goes Pete DeBoer. He spoke like a man who thought he might be losing his job, and lo and behold, Arda, he lost his job.
It's a volatile turnstile, that coaching position in the National Hockey League. A bonus winner, Wish, Stanley Pups. Now, I'll be honest, I did not watch the Stanley Pup broadcast, but I am loving the creative names that the puppies were given. For example, Jake Ottinger and Tyler Tofuri. But my absolute favorite is Alexander Ovechkin.
I think I saw a Doggy Hamilton. I definitely saw a Taylor Howell of the instead of Taylor Hall. I remember being at the NHL party at the Stanley Cup final last year, and everybody around me was just hobnobbing and drinking all of Gary Bettman's beer, and I remember just staring at the television because I was absolutely mesmerized by the Stanley Pup and all of the player cards they had created for our canine friends. And rare Arda is the job in which I say to myself, man, I wish I could do that. Coming up with pun names for dogs based on hockey players, I mean, I might have to get my resume in order because that is an amazing gig.
We need to get you into that room without a doubt. That's going to do it for our winners and losers presented by Discover.